Hey guys, welcome to Microsoft Word Lesson 4. This one's called Indents and Tabs, and I'll say this one's probably the hardest one, but I don't think this one's going to take you too much time. The due date for this one, early due date is today. Due date is actually tomorrow. So if you turn it in early in Classcraft, you'll get your buku points for turning it in early. So let's go ahead and get right into it, because this is a long week and I'm tired. Let's just get this one over with. Indents and tabs. Your learning goal. You'll be able to understand the basics of typing, editing, and organizing text in Microsoft Word 2016. I feel like that's been our learning goal for like 4 days straight now, which means I'm just getting sick of Microsoft Word. I'm sure you are too. Next week, we're going to move on and we're going to do a few other things. Objective. You will click on the GCF Learn Free link provided, read through the material, watch the video, and download the practice document on page 1. I feel like that's been our objective for a while too, but at least I don't have to update my boards today. And again, our vocabulary has not changed, it doesn't seem like. Cut, copy, paste, undo, redo. I'm going to say that there's probably going to be some more vocabulary, and I'll probably change this by the time you see the lesson. That might be a little different, because indents and tabs, there's actually quite a few vocab words that go along with indents and tabs, so I might have to change that a little bit. Okay. The actual video you're watching right now is tile number 2, as always, and if you look at tile number 3, that's the actual directions for the document. All right, and let's go ahead and read your directions. I don't know why, but some of you guys are still very lost about this, and there's only like 3 or 4 things that you can even click on, so I don't really know where we're going wrong here. Whatever. Open up the practice document on page 1 of the GCF Learn Free link. Save the document as indents and tabs into your STU tech folder, Word folder. So that's going to be your H drive. Make sure that's your H drive, actually. So let's click on the title. I already have it open, I think. It's going to take us to Indents and Tabs in Word 2016. So these are all your resources for this particular assignment. All right. The practice document we're going to need is right here. So let's just go ahead and grab that. I'm going to put it on my USB. Is my USB not working? Windows cannot access. Oh, well, I'm not trying to. Did I mistakenly click on something? Oh my, I don't even know what that is, but now I want to know. Okay, so let's just save it to the USB. Keep myself out of trouble. All right. Well, this document couldn't be any more boring, honestly. So we have, it's to Dear Miss Jackson. I am exceedingly interested in the junior marketing position with top-tier telephones, and I believe that my education and employment background are well suited for this position. All right, so this is a resume cover letter. Cover letters and resumes kind of go together. So this is the cover letter that you would normally send in for like a job that you'd be interested in, okay? And then right here, this would actually be the resume. It's a pretty good looking resume too, not bad. So your resume would always have like a summary of you, like what do you do, your skills, why do we want to hire you, your experience, where have you worked before, and let's see where this person, Adrian Patel, and supported by, wow, okay. I don't know what any of this means, but it sounds very important. Yeah. Managed all administrative responsibilities for a staff of 100. Yeah. How come this person doesn't have any like out of college I worked at Starbucks for like 2 years. Where's those jobs? You just jump right into operation branch manager. Must be nice. Okay, let's get into the lesson. Let's get this one over with. So now that we have a practice document, you can go ahead and kind of look through this document here, Indents and Tabs, because most of your information that you're going to need for the assignment today is going to be in this document, all right? A quick way to indent is to use the Tab key. This will create a first line indent of 1/2 inch, all right? So the Tab key, every time you type in a new paragraph, it's just kind of proper to start that paragraph with the Tab key to increase your indent for the first line of that first paragraph. Let's see. If you can't see your ruler to know that you're tabbing a 1/2 inch over, you can actually go to the View tab and just turn on your ruler. Okay. And that's actually like one of your certification testing questions will ask you to just turn on your ruler. It'll say like View Ruler, and that's all you have to do is turn it on. So some questions in your test are really easy. Okay, so this is where, this is the part of Microsoft Word that a lot of you guys probably have never ever messed with before. You don't even know what they are. You've seen them before, but you've probably not touched them because you're afraid you're going to mess up your page. And you're right. They're called indent markers. Indent markers allow you to basically indent paragraphs to the location that you want, but they all do something a little differently. So if you look, this little hanging indent right here on the top is called a first line indent marker, the one that points down, and it adjusts the first line indent, okay? The hanging indent marker, the one that points up, adjusts the hanging indent, and we'll look at that in just a second. The left indent marker moves both the first line indent and the hanging indent, and that's that little, see that little square right there underneath the hanging indent marker? So these are going to be vocab words. By the time you look at this lesson and you look at your learning goal, this will be in there. First line indent marker, hanging indent marker, left indent marker. You guys will need to know what they do, okay? All right. And these are your indentation commands. This is kind of important. Again, in the paragraph command group, you actually have indentation commands that will increase the indent or decrease the indent of some text, okay? And then tabs. Tabs are kind of tricky, to say the least. Your tab selector is in the upper left-hand corner of Microsoft Word, and it kind of looks like an L, but it's not. Your tab selector basically has all kinds of different tab stops. You have a left tab stop, a center tab stop, a right tab stop, a decimal tab stop, a bar tab stop, a first line indent, a hanging indent. That's a lot, and they all do something different. But it basically all works with that tab key. Sometimes it's really important to set up your document so that you can quickly put a piece of text directly under another piece of text, and they're aligned. I hope that makes sense. It will when we actually go through this lesson, which means we should probably just go through the lesson, okay? And we'll look at this stuff as we go through it. So directions, boom. Number 1, indent paragraphs. Use the tab key to indent the beginning of each paragraph in the body of the cover letter. These start with I am exceedingly interested in, while working towards, and enclosed is a copy. All right, so that's easy. Cover letter is the first page, so we're just going to literally press tab on our keyboard in front of all of these paragraphs. Boom, done with number 1. All right, enable the ruler. Using the view tab on the ruler, click on the box next to ruler to turn it on, okay? And this is on your test. View tab, put a checkbox where it says ruler. You're done. All right. Scroll to page 2. Select all the text below training and education. Place a right tab stop at the 6-inch, 5.25 centimeter mark. Okay, so now we're getting a little bit trickier. A little bit. So let's go to page 2. I've already forgotten what it's asking me to do. Oh, God, it's not even Friday yet, guys. Select the text box below training and education. Place a right tab stop. Okay. 6 inches. Training and education. Right here. I don't really see a text box, though. Let's select the text box. Select all the text. Oh, below training and education. My bad, there's no text box. All the text below training and education. Okay. It wants us to do what's called a right tab at the 6-inch mark. Okay, so your tab stops are right here. Okay, so right now this is called a left tab. If you click it, it'll change. And now it looks like a little upside down T. That's called your center tab. Click it again. That's called your right tab. Okay, and that's the one we want. So it wants a right tab stop at 6-inch, 5.2 centimeter mark. A right tab stop right here. So to make a tab stop at 6 inches, make sure that you have the right tab selected right here, and make sure that your ruler is on, and you're literally just going to kind of click right there. Okay. So make sure your tab. Oh, check this out. To delete a tab, if you want to get rid of a tab, or you click in the wrong place, you don't get it right at 6. You can literally just click and drag and drop it right on the page, and now I've deleted that tab. Okay. To put it back on, just make sure you click again in the right tab stop. All right. Okay. All right, guys, let's move on. Tab text. Insert your cursor before each date range, and then press the tab key. The dates are 2008, blah, 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 blah. And date ranges. Right here, in front of the dates. boom, boom. And you can kind of see if you had a little line right here, you could see that the dates are actually lined up against the right tab stop, okay? So that's kind of what a tab stop does. When I press tab, instead of jumping it over, 5 spaces to the 0.5 mark, which is what tab normally does, when I set a tab stop, it basically says, all right, when I press the tab key, this is where I want my text to go. I want it to line up on the right-hand side, right here, in the back of the text. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Play around with your tabs because they're really cool, but it's really easy to mess them up. And like I said, if you do mess them up, just kind of click and drag and drop your tab. Okay, so put the tab back in here, just like that. Okay. All right, let's move on. Moving indent. Select each job description under Experience section and move the left indent to the 0.25 mark. Okay, so again, this is important that you have your ruler open because if you don't have your ruler open, you're not going to see this. Select each job description under Experience section. Right here. And move the left indent to 0.25. Okay, so this is where we're going to actually use our drag, our indent markers. All right, so that's our hanging indent. This is our first line indent, and this is called our left indent. It's that little square, if you can see it. It's this little square underneath the bottom little arrow facing up, and you got to be real careful to just kind of grab that, and we're going to take this to 0.25, I think, which should be right there. That's 0.25, that would be 5. That would be 0.75, that would be 1. Okay, so we have to do this with all of the text. Under Experience. Select each job description under Experience section and move to the left indent. And you can kind of see what it does. It just kind of separates the actual text from like the time that he worked and his job title. So this is his actual experience. This is what he did at the company. So we kind of want to separate it. So we're going to use our left indent marker. Okay. Boom. And then left indent marker again to 0.25. Okay. So again, these are your indent markers. The one up top, if you hover over, it's called your first line indent. So literally, if you were clicked in front of this paragraph right here and you just moved to this one, it would just move the first line of the text. Okay, just like that. This right here is called your hanging indent, and it moves everything below the first line. Okay, this right here is called your left indent, and it moves everything in your paragraph. So that's the difference between your indents. Okay, all right. Scroll to page 1. Select the date and the address block. This starts with April 13th, 2016 and ends with Trenton, New Jersey. New Jersey. If you guys remember Miss Robinson, she was from Garfield, New Jersey. Actually, she talks about it on her album, The Color Within Me, available on iTunes. Okay. Change the spacing. Scroll to page 1. Change the spacing before the paragraph 12. Change the spacing before the paragraph to 12 point and the spacing after the paragraph to 30 point. So these these words right here, before and after, tell me that I'm gonna have to go to the command group dialog box to do this. All right. So select the dates in the address block. Starts with April 2013 and ends New Jersey. So let's find it. Right here. All right. So when it's telling you to do like before and after types of spacing, if you remember yesterday, we talked about the paragraph group and everything that we have to do with like indents, tabs, and spacing being kind of right over here. So we're going to click our dialog box command group, which is your settings, and you're going to see spacing before and after. See that down here? So when you hear like before and after a paragraph, you know you have to open up your dialog box. It's kind of confusing, but that's how it is. So before the paragraph to 12 point and after the paragraph to 30 points. Before, we're going to take that up to 12, and we're going to take that up to 30. Keep it single, and don't touch this at all unless it says to, okay? And then you're just going to say, okay. And that's what it did, okay? Awesome. Select the body of the letter. I am exceedingly blank to your consideration. Change the line spacing to 1.15. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. I'm exceedingly to your consideration. So all this. It wants the spacing, the line spacing, to be 1.15. Okay, so line spacing, you can either go to the paragraph dialog box right here, or if you hover over this, this is line and paragraph spacing, and you can say 1.15. Okay, okay. Add a page border to the whole document. So we should know how to do page borders by now. This time they want a 3D page border, aqua, accent 5, darker 25%, and 1 point. Okay, so page border, design tab. Page border, they want a 3D page border. Always start with the setting first, because by default it's going to be on none. You want color, aqua something, aqua accent 5, darker 25. So this is blue, I think, so this must be, that's blue. Blue gray. You know, on this aqua, that's light blue. You know, none of these are going to be aqua. Blue gray, blue, let's just say blue, because we don't have aqua. Accent 5, darker 25. So we're going to say color, blue, darker 25, blue accent 1, darker 25, blue accent 5, darker 25. How's that? That works. That works for me. Do they want a specific width? 1 point width. Okay. So notice over here too, we have whole document. It says applies to whole document. This is really cool because you can actually go to the options button here and you can either measure it from the edge of the text on your paper or from the edge of the pane. So check this out. If I say text, this is what my border will look like. Okay. It looks pretty ratchet. So let's not do that. Let's just say 3D border, say color, blue accent 5, darker 25. We'll say 1 point width. We'll say options, edge of pane, yes, and say okay. So that's what it should look like right there. All right, moving on right along. Add a drop cap. We should know where the drop cap is by now. On page 1, highlight the letter S from the word sincerely, insert a dropped cap to the letter. So this is from yesterday's lesson. So we're going to highlight the letter S, just the letter S. We're going to go to, is it insert? Yeah, insert tab. You're going to see drop cap over here and just say dropped. That looks really bad. Don't ever do that, especially on a resume cover letter. All right. Change the theme of the document to dividend. I've never heard of that theme, but themes are all in the same place. Design tab right here. You're going to say themes right here, and we're going to try to find dividend. Right there, dividend. That looks a little better, I guess. On page 1, select the text, April 13th, 2016, apply the book title font style. So when you think font style, I want you to think home tab because your styles are over here, okay? I've already forgotten what it wants. April 13th, 2016. And your styles are over here. You'll see book title is what it wants right there. Okay. Add a symbol on page 2, add a new blank line, and add the 3 smiley faces symbol. Yay, that means we're done. So just kind of click right below here. You're going to go insert tab. You're going to say symbol. We're going to insert the smiley face. And once you insert it one time, it becomes your top symbol. Okay, so you should have 3 smiley faces at the bottom. Okay, save it. Turn it into Classcraft, please, when you are done. Make sure you know what your indents and tabs actually do. And again, make sure you guys know that all of your resources, especially when it comes time to study for a quiz, is right here. This is where I pulled your practice document from, and this is where we went over the first part of the video with all your information. Okay, so if you need to know how to use your tabs or indents and spacing or indent markers or anything like that, this is where you come to go. All right. All right, guys. So that's it for Microsoft Word for right now. Next week, we're jumping into a few other lessons. Tomorrow, we're going to kind of have a catch-up day. So everybody who's a little bit behind on these lessons, you are going to get a chance to catch up tomorrow. And tomorrow's a very important day for me. It's December 2nd. And if you don't know what that day is, then you don't know me very well. Have a good day. Bye.